the cage.
Good afternoon, fine people. I hope you've had a wonderful day.
Has been nice and relaxing. You've been gone all day, boy. You out chasing women again?
Funny. Nope. I've been out doing some marketing, I guess you'd call it. Passing out the business cards you designed. You must have done a good job. I've gotten several calls already. That usually doesn't happen the first day you pass out cards, but this must be an anomaly.
Oh, really? So any of those calls going to translate to a business deal?
Absolutely. We have an appointment this evening. This lady looked at my card when I handed it to her. Her eyes got real big. And she says, "Can I make an appointment with you right now?" Of course, I definitely didn't turn her down.
So where is the meeting?
She's coming here. I thought we all needed to be together, especially considering the circumstances of the case.
Hey, I couldn't help overhearing. You got my curiosity piqued now. What's the deal?
You have me a little nervous now, talking about circumstances that necessitate us all being present. What's going on with this?
Apparently this lady, her name is Linda, has been doing some things behind her husband's back that she definitely doesn't want him to know about. Also, it appears one of her flings took video and pictures of their escapades, which ended up in the wrong hands. For all we know, it could be the fling himself that's doing this, but at this point there's no way to know.
Did Linda know that pictures or video were being taken at the time?
She said absolutely not. She said there's no way in hell she would have agreed to that, especially when she's supposedly a happily married woman.
So let me guess. Someone's trying to blackmail her with the evidence?
She received an email from a Gmail account that contained a PDF document. She said normally she would delete the attachment, but the message that was sent mentioned her flings and that the document contained evidence of such. So, she opened it. It had a bunch of pictures of her in compromising positions with several men. So they didn't come just from one source.
If it's some kind of conspiracy, I'm assuming her family has a lot of money. Multiple people aren't going to collaborate on something like this for chump change. Must be a considerable sum of money they're asking for.
It's definitely in the high six figures. Definitely not chump change. At this point, she's scared to death that her husband is going to find out.
I have mixed feelings on this. I understand it's a business opportunity, but at the same time, if I was married and my husband was having flings behind my back, I'd want to know about it. In one sense, I think she gets what she deserves. But I also understand the business aspect and that we're being hired to do a job. It's still hard for me to wrap my head around.
The thing is, in a business like this, there's going to be a lot of cases where personal ethics comes into play. But stuff like this is almost commonplace today. This is a scam called sextortion, and from what I've read about, it happens more often than we'd like to believe. It's almost like being faithful to your partner is a thing of the past.
Sextortion, huh? Well, the very fact it actually has a name tells me that it must happen a lot. I'm wondering if the men she slept with her just so they could extort her like this.
Very good possibility, especially when you have multiple men involved and the footage of the flings ends up in the hands of a person who sent the email.
So what time is she coming here?
I told her around 7. We'll be done with dinner by then, but early enough that it won't be a late night for us. Hopefully anyway. Where's Max, by the way? I'd like all of us to be here.
As far as I know, he's in his bedroom sawing logs. He said he didn't sleep well last night, so wanted to take a nap. You know he'll be awake in time for dinner. Tara's fixing spaghetti. You know how he loves spaghetti.
Meh, spaghetti's okay. No offense, Tara. I know you're a good cook. I'll fill up on garlic bread. You're making garlic bread too, right?
Duh! You can't have spaghetti without garlic bread. You could go to prison for that.
Just don't breathe on me after we eat. Hopefully our garlic breath doesn't overwhelm our guest.
Well, you didn't know we were having company. Just make sure we have plenty of breath mints.
Hopefully Max doesn't have beer with the spaghetti. He'll be belching all evening. You know how he gets.
I'm not telling him he can't have his beer. He'll wrap me up like a pretzel.
I'd pay to see that. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, a real riot. One more reason I'm not going to mention him not having beer.
Oh well, we'll just make sure he sits as far away from Linda as possible. This could be a very interesting meeting.
Welcome, Linda, to our humble abode. This is Tara, Luna, and Max.
I don't know that I'd call this humble. Very nice. Makes our place look like a shack.
I highly doubt that. We're only here for a little over a month, and then we have to move out.
I would ask why, but I don't want to pry. Also, we should probably get down to business. We have a lot to go over. I brought all of the evidence that I had. Put it on a USB stick like you suggested.
Good deal. Okay, let's have a seat at the table and go over the facts. I want you to give me a time sequence of when everything happened. I'm sure you have the dates and times of everything from the emails, all that good stuff.
Of course. It was just one email. At least so far. Of course I didn't answer it. I'm hoping the person doesn't know that I've already read it.
Oh, you can bet they do. I'm sure that the attachment contains some kind of script that let him know when it was opened. That's a basic scam tactic that all of these assholes use.
Damn. I was really hoping I could pretend I hadn't seen it and buy some time.
So I'm sure he gave you some kind of time frame as to how long you had to respond before he sent the evidence to other people.
Yes, it's in the email. He said I had to respond within 3 days. That was just to respond, not when the money is due. He hasn't mentioned money yet, actually. But we all know that's going to be the next step after I respond.
So he's playing it smart. In reading through this email, he hasn't said anything that would be evidence of extortion. He just says that you have 3 days to respond and let you infer the rest.
Just a matter of common sense. Nobody's going to send something like this unless they can profit from it financially. There'd be no other motive.
Very true. But it also makes me wonder if after you respond, he's going to resort to some other form of communication. He knows you can't really go to law enforcement without everything being exposed, which is what he's threatening. Or at least inferring.
Okay, first off, do not respond to this person in any way. I know you're afraid that he might forward all of the videos and pics to your husband and maybe other family members. But there's nothing to stop the person from doing it even if they're paid. If you talk to people who deal with this kind of thing, they always advise not to respond. So wait and see if the person or persons sends you another email. In the meantime, I'm going to use some tools and attempt to trace the source of the email. It may or may not find the culprit. The email could have been sent from a public hotspot or even the library. But I'm going to start with that.
I'm really stressed out right now. I'm nervous as hell that 3 days from now my husband is going to receive the photos and videos, and our marriage will be over.
You have to look at it from a position of reality. I don't mean to judge, but you know what you've been doing is wrong. If your marriage means that much to you, then you shouldn't be out screwing other dudes, plain and simply. Sorry, I don't intend to be mean, but those are the facts.
Tara's right, Linda. We know that you're a client or possible client anyway if you choose for us to stay on this. But the truth is you made your own bed here. We'll try to do what we can to help you and advise you as much as we can, but you need to follow our direction to the T. Let Ari do what he needs to do and just sit back and wait. We know it won't be easy, but you have to work with us. Don't do anything rash and screw things up.
Nice choice of words, Luna.
Okay. Don't mess things up. Better?
Same difference. Either way, Linda needs to work with us and not go off on her own, no matter how hard it may be to do otherwise.
Okay, I'll trust your judgment. I'm just hoping my marriage doesn't end 3 days from now.
Does your marriage mean enough for you to stop this behavior? If not, then I wouldn't worry about it. You'd be better off single.
I agree. If you want to live that type of lifestyle, you'd be better off being single.
That would devastate the kids. I have 3 children at home. It would destroy our family. I don't want that to happen. It's hard to explain. Life was getting boring and I wanted some excitement. Stupid choice, I know. But sometimes we make decisions based on emotion rather than logic, and that's obviously what I did.
Well, I don't want to get too deep into your personal life. We're already a lot deeper than we'd like to be, honestly. I think I have all of the information I need to get started investigating this. I'm hoping I can trace the email address and find out who sent you the document.
Why did they send the pictures in a document instead of just attachments? I'm not used to seeing that.
Because email filters will many times block photos and reject the email. I've had it happen to me sending pics from one account to another. Gmail will block the email and send you a message letting you know it was blocked. If they were scanned into a PDF document, they bypass the photo filters. The filters just see a document, period.
I was wondering that myself. Usually when people send me photos, they just send them as attachments.
But I think generally people aren't trying to disguise what they're sending you. The very fact the person or persons sent the photos in a document tells you they were trying to hide what was being sent.
That's interesting. I've had documents sent in an email before, but I've always just deleted the email if it wasn't from an address I was familiar with. Plus, I know that documents and even photos can be infected with malicious scripts that can infect your computer if you click on them.
Whoa, Luna. I'm impressed. Pretty good for a blonde.
You doofus. You do realize you're blonde as well.
But I'm a smart blonde.
And I'm not?
Okay, I better shut up while I'm ahead.
You're not ahead now, guy. We might send you to bed without any dinner.
I'll call the cops and report roommate abuse. First degree.
Okay, I'm going to take off before you guys start torturing him. By the way, your other roomie over there sure is quiet. What was your name? Max?
They banned me from talking because I had beer with dinner.
So what's wrong with having some beer at dinner?
Because I have a tendency to... Sorry about that.
I see. Probably a good call. That's my cue to leave. Thanks, you guys. I look forward to hearing from you when you have more information.
I'll be discreet with my communications. I don't want to put you in any bad situations.
If you contact me during the day, I'm usually home by myself. Except on the weekends. One thing I would ask is that on the weekends you let me contact you first and let you know the coast is clear.
No problem, Linda. Like I said, I'll be discreet.
Dang, Max. If you weren't such a belcher, you'd be quite attractive. Sorry, old habits are hard to get rid of sometimes.
I don't think I'd call them old habits. I'd say they're pretty current.
Figure of speech. All right, I'm out of here. You all take care.
I'm not sure what to think of her. Can't say as I really like her.
It's hard to like self-centered, self-indulging people. I think she's pretty full of herself.
Well, guys, it's not like we're looking to bring her into our social circle, which means we don't have to like her. She's a client, not a comrade. I'm sure we'll run into many clients we don't particularly like all that well. But as long as they pay us, that's the important thing. All right, I'm going to go look into this before it gets too late and I fall asleep.